Good evening, Erica.
Good evening.
We were supposed to meet at the end of February, but some things came along in your life. Do you want to talk about it?
Yes, the day that we were supposed to meet was the day after my children's father passed. And so I just had to abruptly stop my schedule, everything I was doing, travel back to my hometown of Albany to settle things with my children and get them prepared for his funeral and things like that.
Okay, now do you want to talk about what led to his death?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so in December, he had an incident where he was planning to commit suicide and in front of our daughter. And that really did not sit well with me or her because she was there with him by herself. And I was 3 hours away for her to get to. So that kind of set us back. A day or so later, I ran to Albany and got her. Okay, and then in January, due to that incident, it was determined that he should be admitted to a VA clinic. And so, because of him being prior military, he suffers with PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. So, they were going to help to work with him to get himself back functional to be the man, father, etc. that he needed to be for himself.
Okay.
Okay. While he was there, he was going to be there about 8 weeks. And while he was there, he fell ill on a on a Tuesday night. And so the doctors rushed him to an x-ray. And because of how he was falling over, they assumed it was his chest. In the x-ray, they saw where a cut was in his heart, and it was a very severe cut. It was determined at that point that it was too deep for him to live with at this point in his life. It was also determined that surgery could occur, but with the surgery, there was still a chance that he would not live. Okay, without the surgery, he wouldn't live. With the surgery, it was a chance he would not. So it was decided amongst the family that they would go ahead with the surgery. So they airlifted him to Macon, and they did emergency surgery in the middle of the night to try to repair this dissection in his heart as best as they could. From that, he was placed in ICU, connected to machines. The family was called in to say, if you're going to come and see him, now's the time to come because it's a big possibility you won't see him beyond this. So on the following Monday, he was still not able to speak, unresponsive, had not come back to life, and so the heart monitor went to beeping, where he was somewhat going into congestive heart failure. And once again, we were informed that even with the surgery, there was still a chance he would not live. And sure enough, he expired about 10:15 that Monday night, February 26th.
Okay. So, with everything that was going on, it was with the surgery of saying that he was not going to live.
Right.
If he had the surgery, it was a 50-50 chance.
Correct.
Regardless. But both of them was seeming like he was trying to say that he wasn't going to live.
Either way.
Get prepared. To get prepared.
Right.
Regardless.
Yes.
You all were getting ready.
Yes.
To lose it.
Yes.
Now, what are your feelings upon all of that? How do you feel when you were going through to the point of before the death?
Okay.
After from December up until the past.
I think that the attempt to commit suicide was a knowing of this was going on, and this was a way for him to escape and finally get into the VA clinic, so that he could get himself seen about being prior military, and he waited a long time, but I think this was his way to reach out and say, I'm not well mentally or physically.
Okay.
And knowing that the end for him was here.
Was there.
Yes.
Now, did you and him, or did him that you know of, did you and him have any conversation on his health wise?
So last time I saw him was on Christmas Day, um, and it was after where he attempted to commit suicide. He talked about getting ready to go in January to the VA clinic and things of that nature there. Only his mental, but not his physical.
Not his physical.
Right. He was in basically perfect health by looking at him. He had been taking blood pressure pills like thousands of other Americans do, but had not complained about his physical health.
Not his physical health, just
Right.
his mental health.
Health. Right.
Okay. Now, do you feel that, because you mentioned that he was in the military because he had PTSD.
Correct.
Now, do you feel that had something to do with his mental health?
Absolutely. I think that for years he suffered with it in silence.
Okay.
And just wanted to be the star of the show or the happy-go-lucky person. He always had to be the center of attention, and so I think that was a coping mechanism for him to push the PTSD to the side, to be the center of attention, to be the one that makes everybody laugh, to be the one to get everybody together, to be the one to have a good time around him, so that he can live his days of having a good time, and not focus on the PTSD or on what was physically going on as well.
Now, do you think back from, because you said that was your former husband?
Correct.
Do you think back from when you all were married, did you see any signs of PTSD while you was married with him?
I did. I didn't know what to call it, but I saw signs of something. Okay. Too many things were just abnormal, and I think we wanted to say, well, he's just young, and he's just, not used to the either married life or the parent life, but things that were happening relating to drinking, staying out all night, wanting to be around lots of other women, and after having daughters at home and a wife at home, that's no way to have a marriage, and not a happy marriage. Yes.
Now, after he passed and everything, what are your feelings? How do you feel?
I kind of felt guilty for not hanging around for him and the girls. I felt angry because it seems like he got off from when we divorced from not raising them, and now he gets off again because he's deceased. So once again, it's all on me. I've gone from being a custodial parent to being an only parent. There is no other parent to contact. If they pick up the phone and want to call him, they're not going to get an answer. If they send a text message, there won't be a response. And the same with me. So although we co-parented all of these years, that's not going to happen anymore. So the decisions that I made pretty much would be what I have to go with, because there is no father to help with these decisions.
So, in other words, you're saying that you feel like a heavy burden.
Yes.
That is has dropped upon you.
Absolutely.
Now that he's gone, because the help that you did have with him is now gone.
Correct.
Okay. Now, have you? Because we're just worrying about you right now.
Exactly.
Have you tried to make a list of things that will try to help you deal with some of your, when you feel like the burdens are heavy upon you? Can you, like, think about some things that can help you when that feeling comes? Do you know, first of all, do you know when the feeling is coming?
Okay. No, I do not know when the feeling is coming. It just comes. And because it's the first time this happened to me and something I'm unused to, then I can't recognize those signs.
Okay.
Okay, or I couldn't in the beginning. I can now because it's been about 4 weeks.
Okay.
And so when I feel either anxiety or feel a frustration or feel a pity party coming on, I now can say, okay, stop. I'm not going to do this. It's a great day. And I'm doing great. Life is for the living. I have to keep on going.
Okay.
Okay, have I tried to make a list? No, and that's a great idea. I do have a little book in my purse. I am planning to begin to write it and to write down these feelings and emotions. It's truly been an emotional roller coaster.
Okay.
Even I even sometimes feel I'm in denial because I think it was all a nightmare, and that I'm going to wake up from this and he's going to be there, and or he's going to be a phone call or a text away. But I'm having that feeling less now because the farther away from the death and funeral that we are, then the more I'm seeing that is not a bad dream. Yeah.
So now you're starting to go into reality.
Correct.
Reality. An acceptance part of the grieving process.
Correct.
Because you're saying that you had the mad part,
right,
the angry,
yes,
and now you're saying, okay, then this is what's going to be, and my next step has to be whatever you feel that your next step needs to be.
Yes.
Now, how have your support system? Do you have a support system? Because you never spoke of anything.
Right.
So I'm wondering, is it just you, or do you have anyone else that you can lean on or talk to about?
So our oldest daughter, Sierra, she told me in a long text that she was angry because I don't get enough credit. She said, Mama, you always have done for us, even when you didn't have. She said, you were the best mother for us that we could ever ask for. She said that in 1,000 years, she would choose me over again to be her mother. Because although we were not together, I never kept them from him.
Okay.
Their entire lives, he was a phone call or a drive a few streets over or a text message away up until 2016 when I did uproot and relocate. But they have had access to him all those years up until. So I never kept them from him. Whatever it was they did or needed to do, I had them there. Never questioned, just did my part as a mother to make sure that they had all the time with him that he wanted them to have. Okay. And so I feel great about that.
You feel great about that because that put a smile on your face when you talked about how she gave you a trophy in so many words of a text.
Right.
Of saying, now you only have one daughter with him? Or
okay. No, I have two.
You have two.
Right.
Daughters.
Yes. Right. So our second daughter, she could not get to him the way our oldest daughter could. Okay. She wasn't there when he was attempting to commit suicide because she lived here in Brunswick with me. When he went to the clinic in Dublin, I wasn't able to drive there. My two tires on the front of my car went out, so I didn't have reliable transportation at that time. In addition, she could not be there in Macon for the surgery and where he died, and so she wasn't as accessible as Tierra was to be able to get there. And so, not that she says I'm not a great mom. Once or twice she said, well, you could have rented a car to get there, or although I offered to put her on the bus, and they offered to pick her up from the bus station, she still was not going to go without me, and I just couldn't drop my jobs because I had two jobs, at that time, and since he was still alive, I just wasn't going to go and drop because I knew I needed to save my time for when he died. Because that would have been the most important time.
Okay.
And I didn't want to see him that way. Maybe that was selfish of me, but I didn't because I know how I remembered him, and I didn't want to see him.
You didn't want to see him. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you didn't want to see him in that way, and which led for your youngest child to feel a little angry
left out
with you.
Yes.
towards you.
Right.
And then it also, you have obligation to fulfill.
Yes.
Because you still have a home and a house to take care of
Yes.
where you live now. Because you would have missed days.
Yes.
And you was getting the feeling already seems like what you was trying to say.
Yes.
That his time is almost near.
Exactly.
Of leaving.
Correct.
So you were thinking of the future,
Correct.
not the present.
Not the present.
Okay,
Right.
okay. Now, do you know of any things that you can do? Well, not do you know. Can you, for your homework assignment, and we'll meet back later on this evening,
Okay.
that you write a list
Okay.
of things that, how you felt,
Okay.
how you think you should, your pros and the cons of both parts, and what can you do when the feeling comes. Positive reaction.
Right.
Because we don't want anything negative, like you get shot too much.
Yes.
It may cause you to go into debt, and then
Correct.
you'll have a negative effect. Think
Right.
of positive things that you can do when you feel sad, when you feel anxious,
Right.
or do you have someone to call? And that will be your homework assignment.
Right.
And when we come back and meet again, you can discuss those with me. Would that be fine with you?
That will be excellent.
Okay. And we'll do that when we meet again.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Barnes.
You're welcome.